Hi, it's a tutorial for Tog247.com. I'm just going to do a very quick tutorial, just introduction to channels and blend modes. I've got this picture which was by Brendan, where typical picture where because the background's very bright, the camera's sort of exposed. It sort of compensated a bit for the brightness of the background, and the people are actually quite dark, which is not much we can do apart from use a flash, otherwise the background's going to be totally blown out. So I just want to show you how we can quickly correct a shot like this, very easily. In fact, we're just using a blend mode and one of the channels. Now, to correct the shot, we need to brighten the faces up a bit. So to do that, all I'm going to do is copy this layer. So I've copied the image onto a new layer, and if I change the blend mode from normal to screen, you can see that we've now brightened up the whole image, and it's done how better the faces look. But the problem is it's brightened up the background as well, and the sea and the sky, which were kind of blown out already, are even more blown out. So what we need to do is to mask out that area so that this layer only affects the faces. Now, it would be quite tricky to try and mask that area out, and if I show you, if we add a mask to this layer, if I was then to get a black brush, which I've got here, a big black brush, I could paint with black, and I could paint around the areas, and you can see now we've got a mask, so it's only affecting the area that's white. And obviously I've done a pretty poor job of the mask. If I go back and paint with white, and I could spend hours, and I could get a really small brush, and I could spend hours trying to paint around it to make it look natural, but as you'd see, it would just take forever, and you probably wouldn't do a very good job anyway. So we're not going to be able to try and paint a mask, so I'm going to delete that mask. I'm just going to delete it. So what I'm going to use is a channel. I'm just going to turn this layer off for a second and come back to layer 1. What we want is a channel to help us make this selection. So I'm going to go to the channels palette, and I'm going to look through the channels. Now, skin is red basically because of the colour, the blood colour coming through the skin. So if we look at the red channel, you can see that the skin is kind of grey, because that means it's quite a light colour grey, meaning there's quite a lot of red in there. And you can see the sky, which is completely white, has got a lot of red, because white is made up of red, green and blue at full. And the sea's got quite a lot of red in it. And then I'm going to go to the green channel. So I'm going to click on the green channel, and here you can see that there's a lot of green in the sky, quite a lot of green in the sea, not much green in the faces. There's a little bit coming through here where the lighter areas are. And then I look at the blue channel. Now, blue channel, obviously a lot of blue in the sky, in the sea, which is why it's nearly white, and hardly any in the faces or the hair. So the blue channel is going to be particularly good with this, because we've got a good separation between the background and the subjects, and predominantly the skin of the subjects, which is the bit that we want to brighten. So I'm going to click on RGB, so we've got all of them on again. If I now command or control click on the blue icon, on the blue channel icon here, it will load the blue channel as a selection. If I then go back to my layers palette, I'm going to turn on this top layer, and I'm now going to hit, with this selection still selected, I'm now going to hit the mask icon, and it will load that channel as a mask. And as you can see, it's actually doing the complete opposite that we want, which is brightening everything other than the faces. So what we can do with the mask selected, so make sure we've got the little rectangle around the mask, if I come up to image adjustments, invert, we'll now find that this is only affecting the skin and a little bit of the hair, but is all very natural. And if anything, the whole layer is probably slightly too much, so I might reduce the opacity a little bit. But there's a very quick way of basically just selecting the skin tones and making them brighter just by using the channels palette and the blue channel, creating a mask out of it on a layer and selecting that layer to screen mode, and here you can see it's just brightened up the skin.